Bonjour mes amis, welcome to our travel channel. Today we're diving into the City of Lights, Paris. Whether it's your first visit or your 10th, we've got some essential tips to help you blend in and avoid those common tourist faux pas. Stick around as we explore what not to do when you're in Paris, France. Let's dive in. First up, let's talk culture and customs. Paris is rich with traditions and the French take their etiquette seriously. One big no-no is forgetting to say bonjour when you enter a shop or restaurant. It's more than a greeting, it's a sign of respect and acknowledgement. Imagine you walk into a quaint Parisian bakery, drawn in by the heavenly smell of freshly baked croissants. As you're about to order, the shopkeeper gives you a cold stare. Why? Because you forgot to say bonjour? In Paris, starting with a polite bonjour can open doors, literally and figuratively. My friend Laura once told me about her first trip to Paris. She walked into a busy boulangerie and went straight to ordering, skipping the customary greeting. The shopkeeper seemed indifferent and less than helpful. On her next visit, she greeted the staff with a warm bonjour, and suddenly she was met with smiles and great service. It's amazing what a simple word can do. Another cultural aspect to note is the greeting ritual known as la bise, the cheek kiss. It's a common way to greet friends or even acquaintances. But don't worry, as a tourist, a friendly handshake will usually do. Just observe and follow the locals' lead. When in doubt, a polite smile and a nod can go a long way. Remember, embracing the local customs is part of the fun and adventure of traveling. Next, let's talk gestures and body language. While hand gestures are a universal part of communication, some can have very different meanings across cultures. In France, for example, the OK sign with your fingers can be seen as offensive, akin to saying something is worthless or zero. Instead, try using a thumbs up or simply a nod to show your approval. And be mindful of other gestures as well. The peace sign with the palm facing inward can be considered rude in some contexts. I once met a fellow traveler who got into an awkward situation at a Parisian cafe. He used the OK gesture to compliment the waiter on his meal. The waiter looked confused and slightly offended. Later he learned that it's better to stick to universal gestures like the thumbs up or a smile when in doubt. Parisians are expressive with their hands, and you might notice lively conversations full of animated gestures. Don't be afraid to join in, but be aware of your surroundings. Large, sweeping gestures can be misinterpreted or invade someone's personal space. Personal space is valued, and bumping into someone without a quick pardon could be seen as rude. So, keep your movements polite and subtle, and always apologize if you accidentally intrude on someone's space. When it comes to navigating Paris, there are a few unwritten rules to keep in mind. Parisians walk with purpose, and the city's streets and sidewalks can be bustling. One major faux pas is stopping abruptly in the middle of the sidewalk to check your map or take a photo. This can disrupt the flow and annoy the locals. Instead, step to the side when you need to pause. You'll avoid blocking the path and can take your time to get that perfect shot or figure out where you're going next. I remember being on the bustling Champs-Élysées, excited to snap a photo of the Arc de Triomphe. I suddenly stopped in the middle of the sidewalk, oblivious to the crowd behind me. The glares and sighs from the locals were a quick lesson in Parisian sidewalk etiquette. Now, I always step aside to capture the moment without causing a traffic jam. Paris is also known for its winding streets and charming maze-like neighborhoods. Getting lost is part of the adventure, but it's good to have a basic understanding of the city layout. Use landmarks like the Seine River and major avenues to orient yourself. And speaking of navigation, don't rely solely on your phone. Parisian street names are often marked on buildings rather than poles, and the metro signs can be a bit subtle. Having a physical map or knowing how to ask for directions in basic French can be a lifesaver. Paris is a food lover's paradise, but dining etiquette here has its own set of rules. One crucial tip: never start eating before everyone is served. It's considered impolite, and in a city that values communal dining experiences, patience is a virtue. Meals in Paris are often seen as a social event, meant to be enjoyed slowly and thoroughly. Don't rush. Take your time to savor each bite and enjoy the conversation. And remember, in France, meals can last for hours. It's all part of the experience. I recall dining at a charming bistro with friends. The waiter brought my dish first, and I eagerly started eating, only to notice everyone else was still waiting for their food. The awkward silence made me realize my mistake. Since then, I always wait for everyone to be served before diving in. Also, be mindful of how you use your utensils. In France, the knife remains in the right hand and the fork in the left. Placing your knife and fork parallel on the plate signals that you're finished, while crossing them means you're still eating. When it comes to paying, don't expect the bill to come automatically. It's polite to ask for l'addition when you're ready to leave. And tipping is appreciated but not expected. Service is usually included in the bill, but leaving a small extra tip for good service is a nice gesture. Paris has an excellent public transport system, but navigating it requires a bit of know-how. First, always validate your metro ticket before boarding. If you're caught without a validated ticket, you could face a hefty fine. The Paris metro is known for its efficiency, but it can get crowded, especially during rush hours. When using escalators, stand on the right side to let others pass on the left. It's an unwritten rule that keeps everyone moving smoothly. I was once late for a museum visit and rushed down the metro escalator, only to find myself blocked by standing commuters. The frustration taught me the importance of standing on the right and keeping the left side clear for those in a hurry. Another tip: watch your belongings. Pickpockets can be a problem in crowded places like the metro. Keep your bags close and be aware of your surroundings. And if you're unsure about your route, don't hesitate to ask for help. Parisians might seem reserved, but they're usually willing to assist if you approach them politely. A simple "excuse-moi, pouvez-vous m'aider" can go a long way. Paris is synonymous with style, and while comfort is key, it's important to dress appropriately. Avoid overly casual attire like gym clothes or flip-flops, especially when dining out or visiting landmarks. Parisians appreciate a well-put-together look, even when casual. Channel your inner Parisian chic with smart casual outfits. Think stylish but comfortable, something you'd feel confident wearing to a nice cafe or boutique. I remember stepping out in my favorite sweats and sneakers for a day of exploring. As I wandered through the elegant streets of Paris, I noticed the stylish locals and started to feel a bit underdressed. That day, I learned to balance comfort with a touch of sophistication. And if you're planning a night out or a visit to a fancy restaurant, consider dressing up a bit more. Parisians take pride in their appearance, and dressing the part shows respect for the city's culture. One more thing: avoid wearing overly flashy or touristy outfits. Blending in with the locals not only enhances your experience but also helps you navigate the city more smoothly. Keep it chic and simple, and you'll fit right in. Tipping in Paris is different from what you might be used to. In France, service is usually included in your bill, known as service compris. However, leaving a small extra tip called pourboire is a nice gesture to show your appreciation for good service. Generally, rounding up the bill or leaving a few euros is sufficient. There's no need to tip as generously as in some other countries, but a little extra is always appreciated, especially for exceptional service. After a fantastic dinner with friends, the bill arrived. We started discussing how much to tip and realized we were overthinking it. Our French friend explained that a small tip is enough since service is included. We left a few euros, and the waiter's smile confirmed we got it right. When it comes to paying, be prepared for some differences. Splitting the bill isn't common in France. It's usually one bill per table, so decide in advance how you'll handle payment. Having cash on hand or agreeing to settle the bill together can avoid any awkward moments. Credit cards are widely accepted, but always check if there's a minimum spend requirement. And remember, it's customary to hand your card to the server rather than placing it on the table. By understanding these small nuances, you can navigate dining and payments in Paris with ease and confidence. Paris is a city of charm, history, and elegance. By avoiding these common mistakes, you'll blend in seamlessly and enjoy the magic of Paris to the fullest. Merci for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more travel tips. Share your own Paris experiences in the comments below. A bientôt.